Please like, subscribe, and comment where you are listening from. I knew something was off about Derek the moment my daughter Sarah brought him home. I'm Linda, I'm 64 years old, and I've been reading people for long enough to trust my instincts. Derek was all charm and smiles when Sarah was looking, but the moment she left the room to get drinks, his whole demeanor changed. He checked his phone, barely acknowledged my questions, looked bored. The mask slipped for just a moment, but I saw it. "Mom, isn't he wonderful?" Sarah gushed when she returned. "He seems nice," I said carefully. What else could I say? My daughter was in love. They got engaged 6 months later. I paid for half the wedding, $18,000. Derek's family contributed nothing, claiming they were going through a tough time financially. I noticed Derek had no problem buying a new truck that same month. At the wedding, during the rehearsal dinner, I overheard Derek talking to his groomsmen in the hallway. Yeah, man, Sarah's mom is already driving me crazy. Always around, always offering to help. It's like, lady, we're adults. We don't need you hovering. His friend laughed. Dude, she paid for half your wedding. Whatever. It's what parents are supposed to do. Doesn't mean I want her in my business 24/7. I stood there, frozen, holding the flowers I'd brought for the centerpieces. I'd offered to help with decorations because I wanted to be involved, wanted to make my daughter's day special. And he saw it as hovering. I didn't say anything. It was Sarah's wedding day. But I filed that conversation away in my memory. The first 2 years of their marriage, I kept my distance. I didn't want to be the interfering mother-in-law, the burden Derek clearly thought I was. I waited for invitations instead of dropping by. I asked before offering help. I tried to give them space. But Sarah looked tired. She worked long hours as a marketing manager while Derek bounced between jobs, always complaining about his bosses, his coworkers, the corporate culture. He was never the problem, it was always someone else. When Sarah got pregnant, she called me crying with joy. "Mom, I'm going to need your help. Is that okay?" "Of course, sweetheart. Whatever you need." I bought the crib, the stroller, the car seat. Probably spent $4,000 on baby supplies. Derek never said thank you. Not once. My granddaughter Emma was born on a Thursday afternoon. She was perfect, tiny fingers, Sarah's nose, a head full of dark hair. I fell in love instantly. I stayed at the hospital to help Sarah recover from her C-section. I held Emma while Sarah slept, changed diapers, learned how to swaddle. It was exhausting and wonderful. Derek complained the entire time. "Does your mom have to stay so long?" he muttered to Sarah on day 2. "It's kind of crowded with her here." "Derek, I just had major surgery. I need help." "I can help." But he didn't. He scrolled on his phone while Emma cried. He left for fresh air and came back 3 hours later. He complained about being tired when Sarah had been up every 2 hours nursing. I bit my tongue and kept helping. When Emma was 4 months old, Sarah asked if I could babysit 2 days a week. She was going back to work part-time, and daycare was expensive. "Mom, I hate to ask, but would you be able to watch Emma on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Just until she's a bit older." "I'd love to. She's my granddaughter." I cherish those days. Watching Emma learn to smile, to grab toys, to recognize my face. I sang to her, read to her, took her for walks in the park. It was pure joy. But Derek saw it differently. I was at their house one Tuesday, Emma napping peacefully, when Derek came home early. He didn't see me in the living room folding baby clothes. He was on the phone in the kitchen. "Yeah, Sarah's mom is here again. Every Tuesday and Thursday like clockwork." "I know, dude, it's annoying. I can't relax in my own house with her always around. She's a burden, man. A total burden. Always watching, always in our business." "Yeah, when Emma's older, we're doing daycare. I'm done with the burden of having her here." A burden. I was providing free childcare, saving them over $1,000 a month, and I was a burden. I carefully set down the baby clothes, picked up my purse, and walked into the kitchen. Derek's face went white when he saw me. Hey, I gotta go," he said into the phone. "Did you just call me a burden?" I asked calmly. It wasn't, I was venting. "You were telling the truth. You think I'm a burden for watching your daughter for free, for helping your wife, for being a grandmother. Look, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. And you know what? You're absolutely right. I am done being a burden to you. I left. When Sarah called that evening, I explained everything, what I'd heard, how I felt, what I'd decided. Mom, please, I need your help. And I need to be respected. I won't be called a burden in my own family. Derek wants me gone? He's got his wish. You two figure out childcare on your own. It broke my heart. I saw Emma once a week when Sarah brought her to my house for brief visits, but I didn't offer to babysit. Didn't offer to help with anything. Sarah looked exhausted. Daycare was draining their budget. Derek still couldn't keep a job. They were struggling, and I watched from a distance, holding firm to my boundaries. Then Derek lost another job, his third in 2 years. Sarah called me one evening. Mom, I don't know what to do. Derek's been unemployed for 6 weeks. We're behind on the mortgage. Daycare is killing us. I'm working overtime just to keep us afloat, and I barely see Emma. I'm so tired. What does Derek say? He says he's looking. But Mom, I come home and find him playing video games. I don't know if he's even trying anymore. Sarah, you need to have a serious conversation with your husband. I know. I'm scared. What if this is who he is? 2 weeks later, my phone rang. Derek. Hey, Linda. I need to ask you something. I stayed silent. So, Sarah got offered a promotion. Big raise, but more hours. And with me between jobs right now, we need help with Emma. I was thinking maybe you could watch her again? Like before? It would really help us out. The audacity. No. What? Come on, this is for Sarah. For Emma. This promotion could change everything for us. For us? What's this US, Derek? Do you have a job yet? Silence. That's what I thought. No, I will not provide free childcare so you can sit at home playing video games while your wife works herself to exhaustion. That's not fair. You called me a burden. You said you were done with me being around. So I'm giving you exactly what you wanted: space. Figure it out yourself. But we can't afford daycare and I'm not working. Then get a job. Any job. Fast food, retail, warehouse, I don't care. But I will not enable you to continue doing nothing while Sarah carries your entire family. You're being unreasonable. I'm being clear. You want my help? Here's what it costs. Get a job. Keep a job. Treat your wife like a partner, not a meal ticket. And apologize to me sincerely for calling me a burden when all I did was love my granddaughter and help my daughter. I can't just. Then we have nothing more to discuss. I hung up. Derek called Sarah at work, complaining that I'd refused to help. That backfired spectacularly. You asked my mother to babysit after you called her a burden? Sarah's voice was ice cold when she called me. Derek, I didn't even know you'd called her. How dare you? That night, Sarah laid down the law. Derek had 2 weeks to find a job, any job, or she was taking Emma and staying with me while they figured things out. Derek got a job at a warehouse. Not glamorous, not his dream job, but honest work with steady pay. He hated it at first, complained constantly, but Sarah didn't budge. Something shifted in him. Whether it was the fear of losing his family or finally growing up, I don't know. But he kept the job. Started contributing. Started being a partner instead of a dependent. 3 months later, Derek showed up at my house. Alone. Linda, can we talk? I let him in, offered coffee, said nothing. I owe you an apology. A real one. He looked uncomfortable, but sincere. I called you a burden. I was ungrateful and disrespectful. You were helping us, helping my family, and I was too proud and too stupid to appreciate it. You saved us over $6,000 in childcare costs that first year. You let Sarah recover properly after Emma was born. You showed up when I didn't. And I called you a burden. He paused, looking at his hands. I was wrong. I was lazy and entitled, and I took advantage of both you and Sarah. I'm sorry. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I needed you to know that I understand now. I understand what I did, and I'm working on being better. I studied him for a long moment. What changed? Almost losing everything. Working a job I hate made me realize how hard Sarah's been working all along. How hard you worked raising her alone after your husband died. I had everything handed to me, and I complained about all of it. I'm ashamed. Actions matter more than words, Derek. I know. That's why I've kept this job for 3 months. Why I'm going to keep it. Why I'm actually being a father and a husband now. I'm asking for a chance to prove I've changed. That was 8 months ago. Derek still works at the warehouse. He got promoted to supervisor. He comes home tired but contributes. He does bedtime with Emma. He cooks dinner twice a week. He's becoming the partner Sarah deserved all along. I babysit Emma again, once a week, on my terms. Not because they can't afford daycare now, but because I want to. Because Derek asks respectfully, thanks me genuinely, and has proven through months of consistent action that he's changed. Last week, Derek and Sarah asked me to go with them to look at houses. They've been saving and they want to move to a bigger place. We want to make sure there's a room for you, Linda, Derek said. For when you visit, or if you ever want to stay over with Emma. A room for me? Your family. You've always been family. I just had to grow up enough to appreciate what that means. Sarah squeezed my hand, tears in her eyes. We're not perfect. Derek still has moments where his old, entitled self surfaces. But he catches himself now, apologizes, does better. He's trying, genuinely trying, and that's what matters. My son-in-law called me a burden. When he needed my help, I said no, and it was the best thing I could have done for all of us. Sometimes love means boundaries. Sometimes helping means refusing to enable. Sometimes saying no is exactly what someone needs to hear to finally grow up. Derek learned that lesson. My daughter got the partner she deserved. Emma has a father who's present. And I have my family back, not as a burden, but as a grandmother who's respected and appreciated. And that's worth more than all the free babysitting in the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more emotional true stories every day.